Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, all between. Jason, my brother, how you doing?
I'm very good, man. How you doing?
Good, except for the cicadas.
I know.
Actually, they don't bother me. They don't bother me, really.
Yeah, I saw you befriended one, right? You named him? And...
Chuck. His name's Chuck.
Nice.
Yeah. Hangs out, keeps the other ones away, kind of.
Yeah, you might as well spend quality time while you can. He'll be gone for another 15 years or so soon, right? So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so we are stoked, to say the least.
Absolutely.
About tonight's show. And just want to put it out there that on a Christmas tree farm in the late 80s, when good old Vince here lost his virginity, Metal Church was on the playlist, is all I got to say.
Nice.
But, so thank you guys. But, so Hall of Flame. Mm-hmm. We did these, we covered it on Tunage, and we're like, what? This is really fucking good. Mm-hmm. Good old dirty rock and roll, straight up, no bullshit, just, everything in its place, and we've been texting each other over the past few weeks. Dude, I'm listening to fucking, oh my God, track number, blah, 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 But,
album's amazing. Yeah.
Sure. Great album. So anyway, let's bring on the guys from Hall of Flame. Kurt Vander, Mr. Brian Smith.
Brian.
Hello.
And Scott, what's happening, man?
How's everybody?
How do? Good to see you guys.
Coming on, man.
This is great, man.
Look, the top. Look at the top. Everyone's bald on top.
Yeah, bald on top.
Yes. Yeah.
I like that.
I'm gonna take my hat off. So fuck it.
Yeah, all these guys that still got their poser hair.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't heard that term in years.
Poser.
Oh my God.
He still can't afford a rock cut by Mick.
No, I can't. No.
Remember back in the day when you ran into someone and they had long hair and you're like, hey, what band you're in? They're like, oh, I don't play. And you're like, fucking cut your hair.
Yeah, what the hell are you
Yeah.
doing?
When
false advertising.
When we were back in the day, our crew had longer hair than us. So, like, going into Canada, they would, I don't know, they go after them before they go after us. They just
right.
Nice.
Yeah, that's got to have changed. I mean, yeah, people are metalheads today and stuff, but back then it was it meant bonfires and keg parties and broken homes and divorces and stepbrothers and all this shit. Getting arrested, bailing people out, all kinds of shenanigans.
Oh yeah,
been there, done that.
Right. And but is it still the same? How much did that affect the actual community? Because Kurt, you had said earlier in an interview where you were talking with Jason from Dangerous Toys, and how it's fractured. The fan bases have, separated.
In what way? What do you mean?
Just that it's not like it used to be. Like there was a.
Oh, right. Well, there's with the internet now. There's, if you like this kind of music, you can go to these sites and listen to only that.
Right.
Where before, if you like rock and roll, you listened to the radio and then you heard everything that was going on. So there was no galvanizing sound of this last 20 years. It's just whatever you're into, which is good and bad. Then nobody has a hit record anymore. Because there's people don't know. You can have a popular record in this genre and nobody will know anything about it. So I don't know. So it's good and bad, I guess. I mean, at least we listen to the radio. We don't hear, rap music come on, unless you want to hear it, and I don't. So I'm glad.
Oh, come on. I thought we were going to freestyle and shit today.
Here we go.
Delete.
The other thing too, that the biggest problem nowadays, like that sort of ties in with what you said too, Kurt, is there's so much music out now too. It's, you really have to dig to find the good stuff, because there's just like overwhelming amounts of everything else. So
well, everybody's got a computer, and then everybody decides they can be a record producer and buy some software and then makes a record and puts it out there and puts it online. And it's just like, and I've always said since this whole online, the music business isn't competitive. It's just crowded, you know, and you have to dig through it. There's some great stuff, but man, it's hard. It's really hard to find. But that's why, you know, shows like this and stuff, I've really found over the past few years of stuff like what you guys do and things like that really helps if you're looking for new music.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I spend hours every week looking for, you know, like, I didn't want to believe that, you know, rock was dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the great thing about the internet is, like I say all the time, the great thing is everyone can put out their music. The bad thing is everyone
puts out their music.
You just gotta sift and sift and sift and sift and sift and sift, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
And by chance find something. Like, I found your video, like, I think it was like the day it dropped or something, by chance, because of the way I was searching.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, cool.
Because we cover guitar-based music. Some of it's metal, some of it's blues, whatever, as long as it's got guitar.
Right.
You know? And the good news is guitar music is up 59% in sales this year, and guitar sales are 58%.
Wow.
Oh, good.
Yes.
No doubt. That's great. Finally.
What about microphones or for singers? Are they selling at this point?
3.6%, but auto-tune 17,000.
There you go. See, that's the one thing.
That SM58.
That's why somebody like Scott is just like, you know, a treasure, because he really sings.
Yeah.
We don't,
Oh my God.
we don't do any of that. You know, we don't need to. You know, and sometimes it's with rock and roll, it's not all supposed to be perfect. That's half the fun. When you listen to like a lot of modern country stuff, it's perfect, which from a producer standpoint is, wow, that's perfect. But it's like, but it leaves me cold.
Well, there's no feel to it then.
Exactly.
Right.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the beauty is kind of in the mistakes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's better, hanging out in a clean room or a filthy garage?
To practice in?
I'll take the garage.
Garage, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Scott, one thing I have to say about your singing, man, every syllable is heard clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You got on the voice. You're not lazy and doing the and the, you know, you're actually saying the O's and the A's, and you know.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
Very directed, you know.
I was surprised how clear it did come out, to be honest, because when I hear it come out of my mouth, it sounds a little, I don't know, rough, I guess is the word. You know, when I hear it back, I'm like, really? That's how it sounds. It sounds totally different. And then I can't really hear it like you do.
Yeah.
You know, that's impossible, which sucks, but that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Well, just so you know, it's really good, dude.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And
Kurt, he's the one that pulls it up for me, man.
The album's fun.
Yeah.
It is fun. It's fun to do, too.
The world needs fun right now. There's a lot of BS going on. We need fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
I'm too old. And and I'm too old, and we're not that angry anymore. You know,
that's right.
When I was like 22, you know, anyway, you know, I see these guys, pictures of guys, my peers and stuff, and they're doing the metal faces and all that stuff, and I'm like, really, dude, you're 60. You know? Like, like, hey, that's nothing against the music. Make the aggressive music, but when you're doing the mean faces and all that stuff, I'm like, oh God.
And everyone, quit dyeing your hair the same shade of brown.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Your roots are showing.
And there's not a bit of gray. Yeah, it's like, right. Yeah.
I just
today.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, as long as they're playing good, and you know, that's fine. You know, the fact that rock and roll now is all old guys, you know, that's pretty cool. Because remember, growing up, if you were over 30, you were done.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know,
or, over 30 or going bald, you were done. Now it doesn't matter. You know?
No.
Right.
That was about how our band ended in the first place. You know, we're all like, well, we're 30. I guess it's over. Yeah.
Remember when Alice Cooper came back in '88? He was old.
Yeah.
With Poison, the song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was he like 31 then?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, it's kind of over. So let's just play for fun because nobody wants to see us. It's like no, okay. Well, things have now. If you're under 30, you suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if you're under 30, you don't know what you're doing. You don't have the right records at home.
I was talking to a young musician, and so I'm like, yeah. So what's going on? Nothing. Paying my dues. Yada yada. I'm like, oh, really? What are you doing? Oh, I'm trying out for America's Got Bullshit. I'm like, that is not paying your dues. That's like an afternoon. You know what I mean? But people don't have the opportunity to do 4 45-minute sets anymore.
Well, that's kind of like it's tough out there right now. I mean, getting gigs, and even for us, even with our reputation, trying to get somebody, a club owner to, give us a spot somewhere. They want to know how much you're going to draw, and they don't know. We're a thing. So we just decided, well, heck, we're going to get ready to play, and we're rehearsing, and got a new drummer, and we're doing all that, and that's great. And if we can't get any gigs right away, we're just going to make our next record, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Well, we're ready.
Pardon?
We're ready for the next one.
Okay, great. The next one.
I was I told Vince this a while ago when the record came out, and and I've been like passing around to my other buddies and stuff like that too, and getting the same response. But the first thing that struck me about this album is it's like the first time in years probably for me where I can just put a record on and just let the whole thing play.
Oh, nice.
I'm not bouncing around track to track, or pretty good record. I like these 4 tunes, these other ones not so much. I mean, like the whole thing's solid start to finish. So
thank
you guys on that. Yeah,
great. Thank you.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
One thing I am really glad to hear, and you guys mentioned it earlier, and I've heard this from a couple other people, where they say it's really fun.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that has translated, because that was really important to us. That we wanted that, because that's what it used to be. That's why we bought records and sat around in our room and went, because it was fun.
I mean, 1974. You can't not be smiling listening to that tune. You know what I mean? That's just like,
right. Yeah. That's what we do with like tunage. Like I search for these tunes. I play 3 seconds. If I like the 3 seconds, we'll play it. But I don't find anything out because I want, just like Friday nights at the record store in the 80s. Go home from work, throw down some food, book it to the record store, and hey, check this album cover. I mean, come on. How many album covers did we buy? Or we bought album covers, not bands, and then we became fans of the band.
Right.
Yeah, hope for the best.
Judas,
the album covers.
Right there. Like that was my experience. Walked into DJ Sound City in Aberdeen, and there was Bob Halford, and I was like, oh, I gotta have that.
Yeah, exactly. That first Iron Maiden album, I looked at that and I'm like, oh my God, these guys got to be heavy. Like, okay, and then it started. And then Motorhead with a name like that,
had to have it. Yeah,
exactly. It would backfire sometimes. It'd be a great album cover, and you'd get home and put it on. You're like, God, this sucks, man.
Yeah, I mean, that was that way in the 70s too. But in the 70s, the album art was more artwork, so you had to be a little bit more knowledgeable. In the 80s, it was pretty much right on the cover, Right. But it was tough. Yeah.
So many great album covers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, Tubes Are on Fire.
And that is all Kurt. I'm going to give Kurt credit on that. That is all Kurt. That was great. He worked butt off on that and sent it to us and did little tweaks, and it turned out great.
It's a rock amp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
we almost didn't call it amplifier because of that. What is it? A new sound effect for guitar, Kurt, that came out?
There's a pedal board, and I found it out after this was already printed up. There's a little new pedal called amplifier, spelled the same way, and I'm like, we went, do we care or what? And we all went, well, we don't care.
Yeah, shouldn't be an issue. It's not, it's not like it's, King Diamond doing it. You know what I mean?
King Diamond.
Right.
Wow. Haven't heard them in a while.
Yeah. That band.
Thinking back what that is.
crazy.
So did all this start to happen around the the plague, as we say?
The Black Plague.
Hall of Flame started in the 90s.
Right,
And,
but like
yeah.
the new.
No, this happened maybe 2 years ago. I think it was post-COVID, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah, just when it kind of ended. I mean, the COVID thing really didn't enter into our thing. We just kind of came across the old demos and got on the phone. It's like, you know what? We really need to record these songs just to do it.
Well,
just to get them done and document it.
The story about 20 years ago, we started recording this at my place in Aberdeen, and then I had been sitting on the 2-inch master tape, so I did a rough mix and I sent them to Kurt.
Yep.
2021, something like that. And I think it was probably maybe a day later, Kurt called me and said, "Oh yeah, we have to finish this record."
Yeah, you got to do this record.
It was like 12 songs on it, that were rough mixed and just kind of done. And then we just started really getting serious and talking about it and said, hey, because of, some things that were going on in the pandemic, it was just kind of a good time, you know? Hey, we can do some of this remote. We can do some of this in Kurt's studio. We can let's peck away at it and see what we can do. And then, once Scott was on board, it was like, this is great. It just kind of, we were going to document it, so we wanted people to hear it. And then it was like,
that's great.
We were so happy with it, and we have all these songs that we wrote back 30 years ago, that we're redoing and working on, and it was like, it's just right now it's more exciting for me than it ever has been, just because, well, the technology for one, we're able to do this some remotely, some getting together and doing it, but it's just been really a lot of fun, and I'm happy. I feel like I had this part of my life that was unfinished.
Right. Right.
And now we're working on it, and now we have a whole nother, like, it could be a double record, the next one. We have so many songs.
Right.
The thing back in the day with Kurt and I, literally, he lived down the street from me, and we'd get together every day and write.
Yeah.
So we have all this. We have this huge catalog of songs, and it was always hard to pick. What kids are you leaving home on this vacation?
Right.
Come along.
Yeah, the production on the whole album sounds great, and it's brightly mixed in the right way.
Thank you. Cool.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's another thing about technology now too, is a lot of it, I'm sure you'll understand, from a production standpoint, records can sound really, really good now, but everybody in hard rock and metal, everybody's record sounds the same.
Right.
Mm. Everybody has the same guitar sound, the same drum samples.
Let's throw some more compression on there.
Yeah, let's get it.
There you go.
Like this. Yeah.
Let's not move.
Yeah, and there's no dynamic range anymore, but it's really loud on your iPods.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fun. Yeah. But no, like Brian was saying, we had this backlog. When Scott joined the band back in the mid-90s, because we had a different singer, things didn't work out. Brian and I said, we're going to keep this thing going. That's when I met Scott, which was like in the early 90s. And so we just started writing brand new material, and we ended up with like 18 songs. We found the cassette that we saved, and we went back through that just a couple months ago and went, oh my God, we got to record these too. So we've already started working on that batch of songs, and those songs are incredible, and they're already written. And Scott, we already wrote them with Scott. So now we're going to demo them and start really tracking them for real. So yeah, it's amazing stuff. It's like, we're really excited about that.
I feel like the record Amplifier, the one we just put out, is great, and I love it. But I feel like, okay, now we're kind of back in the groove, and we have this huge batch of songs to pick from, where we can really cherry pick and pick like 10 or 12 of our favorites, which is going to be hard to do, because I really feel like
it is.
We spent a lot of time and devote a lot of time back in the day, and now we've kind of been able to step back and listen to them and go, wow, when you're working on them and you're recording them, you think, oh, we're doing something pretty good here, but it's hard to tell when you get so close. We've had all this time to step back from them and listen to them now and really, pick through them. And I'm very excited. I was listening to them this afternoon, and I'm like, I cannot wait to get this next record going.
It's got to be a double record.
Yes.
Wow. Do it. Hey, why not? Right?
Hell yeah.
Well, had we known, we would have. We were just recording this album to, like you said, catalog the songs.
Yeah.
Had we known we were going to actually do a band, we probably would have done some of those songs on this album.
Right.
Correct? Right?
Yeah.
Probably,
Because
but
we weren't going to do a band. We were just going to do it, and that's that.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. And
Now, here we are.
but I think
It's kind of in reverse.
yeah, exactly. I'm glad we didn't though, because then the new album will be documenting that era and taking those songs that were designed to be a completely separate thing. I mean, same band, separate project, separate album. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you touched on a little bit, you guys, back in the 90s when you started, and I was actually wondering about that. So, Kurt, like, we know we're, big Metal Church fans. So, but at the time, you were just, you just had written stuff maybe that wasn't right for Metal Church and you wanted to do.
Oh, you mean
project? Yeah, how you guys like initially came to be.
Initially, okay. Well, I remember it well, and I know Brian does too. We were sitting in a little bar, a little tavern in Aberdeen. We were sitting there, and another friend of ours named Tom Weber and another friend of ours named Ron Soderberg, who became Ron Loud. We were just sitting there at this table having beers, in the early 90s, and we all went, because I was in bands through junior high and high school with Ron, the singer, and Brian. He was in the band that was rehearsing down the hallway when Metal Church was starting. So we would go back and forth, and so we all knew each other. And we all kind of went, "Hey, none of us are in bands anymore," And then we went down 2 blocks away from the tavern after we had a few beers on us down to Brian's studio and started jamming, and we started having a great time. And it just kind of grew from there. And then we made some demos and blah, 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 blah. One thing led to another. We played a few shows, and then we got signed to IRS. And then we went out with ZZ Top and everything. And then we got home, and we started working on the second record and trying to keep things going. And we played everywhere we could in the Northwest. And we played quite a bit. But it was at the height of the grunge movement when things were starting. And we could have been the Bay City Rollers or the Beatles, and nobody would have cared.
Well, we played together one gig just by chance. I was in a different band.
Yeah, that's right.
The band I was in, I wore the shirt of In the Gutter video, just to be, little homage to a buddy of mine that passed.
But, we didn't know each other then, but we did a show, but we were playing all over the place. And eventually, after, Brian and I kept trying, things didn't work out with the singer and the drummer, but Brian and I were determined to keep going. And that's when I met Scott, and we kept the band going, but it was kind of a different sound. And that's when we wrote all the stuff that we're working on now. So cool.
Yeah.
And then it fell apart.
You guys are definitely it's a headline act. There's no doubt. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you.
Cool.
Thanks.
We're hoping.
Yeah. Look, I'll just think of all the spaces that are opening due to people retiring, and which is, but there's a lot of room right now to find your place.
Yeah, and it's going to take a little bit of work, but we're determined to do it because I'm not stopping until this band is up playing live.
There's not a shitty song on this album.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
There's no filler song.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know what I mean? And so, when people hear it, they're going to fit their pants.
And like I said, I've been passing around and sharing videos on social media and sending, my old buddies from high school, and everybody's coming back going, "Holy shit, man, this is really great." So we're not blowing smoke. It's you guys need to keep going. The product,
thank you very much. That's
awesome.
Yeah.
I don't personally get feedback like that. The guys might, because they're more in touch, or especially Kurt, but I don't hear from anyone because I don't go anywhere. I go to Kurt's house, and maybe Brian, I'll be going to his house tomorrow, and that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's nice to hear someone's perspective, for sure.
Yeah.
That happens when you get older. He's just like, ah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, like when I see people going on huge world tours, and I'm like, I'll just talk to people from my fucking living. I'm in my living room.
Right.
Like,
I don't travel anywhere,
I'll go play gigs with my friends, but other than that, nah.
There you go.
Right.
Location ain't vacation, people.
No.
But so this song, I had a 1970 mint condition El Camino with the
Ooh.
Alpine stereo with Blopunk, the pile driver speakers.
Yeah.
And I wish I could listen to this song doing 120 miles an hour in that car, because every song I just picture myself in a car. I'm like, God damn! I get in my Toyota Corolla. I'm like, doo 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 doo. I feel like I have glass packs. You know what I mean?
With the cherry bombs.
We want to make 8 tracks. We want to make 8 tracks just because this album should be on 8 track.
Yeah, no doubt. That would be awesome.
But you have to sell the 8-track with a book of matches.
Yeah.
Right.
Complimentary book of matches.
That's right. Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Everything, Helltown, great soon.
Oh,
everything is where it's supposed to be. You guys, no one's showing off. No one's, we did this. Me and Jason were watching another band, and we're not going to name it because we don't like to. We're not disparaging that person's art. You know what I mean? But
come on.
Talk shit.
Talk crap about people.
Yes, this fucking jagoff does a whole blues tune and then sends in a little bloobity blue. I mean, right in the middle of the fucking song. It totally fucking ruined it. I don't know what to do.
Oh, gosh.
And I don't know nothing about music, so I think it sucks. Yeah.
We're like, oh man, what'd you do that for? You know what I mean?
Right.
But everything's
priceless.
the mix is really good. Everything has space in this.
Cool.
It's
nice.
really good, really good. And of course, Ripcord. Yeah, we're gonna react to that with you guys right now.
Ooh.
What's it?
Let's see.
Sweet.
Losing sleep, losing hearing and sight. I need a grip on something I can't trust. It just isn't there anymore.
All right, what a great dude! This this whole thing. If someone put like a road album out, this should be the entire soundtrack.
Cool.
Yeah, it's got that feeling. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So what's this song about, and how did what's the background to it?
Scott?
The background of the lyrics?
Yes.
Well, geez, I hate when people ask me that right off the cuff. It's like asking, what's the title? Why did you name the song Black Dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, singing about Hey Mama.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
I think it was kind of a reflection song about a couple of them are that way about getting older, I suppose, because I can't remember the dang title right now of the song I'm thinking of on the album, of course, but I don't know. I'm drawing a blank right now. Sorry. I was listening, and then I didn't know we were back on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a reaction video. We have to break it up, otherwise we'll get a copyright strike. So we got to break it up.
Oh, for real?
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
So that's why people are like on the YouTube channel, like, why are you talking during? It's a reaction video. It's not a review.
So you get who gives you a copyright strike?
Record companies.
Our video.
Company. Like WEA is horrible. Everyone else is pretty cool. Like the small, like Rat Pack's pretty cool. Other friends is cool. But the bigger ones, they'll give you a strike. And we're just promoting their acts. We're not. We're doing it. We love them. We're not shitting on any artists. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Well, I don't know. Yeah, for me, this is kind of like Scott said about getting older. You kind of because you're so used to like disasters and things like that, and you're just like, let's just get it done, get it over with, because you're used to it. You'll get through it, and that's kind of a real kind of a innocuous kind of way to describe that. And then a lot of it for me, what I like about Scott's lyrics, they're kind of innocuous, where you can read into it what you want, where they're not just blatantly telling you this is what the song is about and this is what it means. Kind of like yes, I'll be the roundabout.
Yeah.
Words will make
Right.
But it sounds cool. So
absolutely.
Yeah. It literally leans towards Alzheimer's, and I'm not joking. It's about getting when people are. I'm more talking about not us getting older, but elderly people when they get older and they start to lose touch. Sure. And I don't know why I went with "Pull on the Ripcord." I don't know. I know the rest of the lyrics make a lot of sense to me, but that part there, I'm not so sure. I think it's just get it on and get it over with before it's too late is kind of the point of the song.
Right on.
So
digging it. Let's go.
It's not too deep.
Following springtime, summer is fine. You can afford dear December will be mine. Can't pretend anymore. Pull on the ripcord before the disaster. Free falling deep dive, time's not your friend. Standing in my shoes, now what would you do? You can see through me, but I can't see through you. Body is hurt, mind's quietly lost. One single moment, every thought is gone. One memory at a time. She danced on our first meet and blew me away, slowly dissolving like a hangover leaves you blind. I'm starting to lose my mind.
This is one of the songs on your album that makes me feel young. It just has that everything. Get in the car, get in the car, get in the car.
That's right. That's great.
Yeah, and getting back to the Alzheimer's. My dad had Alzheimer's for 7 years, so I was kind of inquiring about the background of the song. So that's another reason why I love it. So right.
Cool.
And part of that answer of mine I balked on is because my mother's in the last months of her life. So when I go down that road to talk about it, I don't want to, have a flood over here. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, but that is where I went with it, like I said earlier. So.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, I also have to say as another bass player that your tone is killing in this.
Sick.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
absolutely.
I've always been a pick player, and I've always liked kind of a bright mid tone. I don't know why, but it's what I've liked.
It cuts right through nice. Yeah, it's perfect. A little bit of grind on it too, just enough.
Mm-hmm.
Just a hint of distortion there.
Yeah. You can hear every instrument and every person has this place in the sound.
Cool.
Right on.
I've got a Pat Kurt on the back. He and I both had like analog studios because that's what you had. In the late 80s, 90s, or whatever. So being able to take those skills of having to actually get a good performance and then using the tools that you have now, it's so great to have full automation to be able to go back and remix and mix, and you can spend the time to get it right. Kurt spent the time and got it right. And really, when this record was done, I just remember looking at it, feeling so proud of it. Sonically, song-wise, the whole thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's exactly why we decided, well, we got to be a band. We got to keep this going, And it was just great working together again too. So
no, we have a fun time, that's for sure.
Yep.
And you know what else is cool about this album?
Chicks dig it.
That's right.
Dig it.
That's why you do it, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Chicks in there.
Sorry, I had to interject that. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no,
But the problem that this band has, the biggest problem that we have, is we probably we'll have a meeting on the phone and we'll forget what we were talking about because we'll go off the rails.
Right.
And then we'll hang up and go, wait, maybe we should talk tomorrow about what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll do that in the studio too. We do that in the studio, and we'll just sit in there, and all of a sudden we'll get sidetracked, just laughing for a half hour. It's like, oh, we're supposed to be working on something. Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. All right, here we go.
Hey, man.
Full on the ripcord for the disaster. Free falling deep dive. Time's not your friend. Standing in my shoes. Now what would you do? You can see through me, but I can't see through you. I can't see through you. I can't see through you. I can see through you. Pull on the ripcord before the disaster. Free falling deep dive. Time's not your friend.
That was a badass guitar solo, dude. You know, what kind of guitar you play?
Oh, I lost you.
Oh, yeah.
There? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, there you
go.
are.
You're back.
What
Yeah.
kind what kind of guitar are you playing on that? What year?
That's a 68.
68 custom. Yeah.
Nice.
Had that for a long time. Actually, I bought that, had that right when Hall of Flame started.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it sounds great, man. What a great
Yeah.
song.
Cool. Thank you.
Standing in my shoes. Now what would you do? You can see through me, but I can't see through you. Following daylight, in comes the night. Dreaming of times when I won't turn to rust. I gotta get out of the rain, yeah. Pull on the ripcord for the disaster. Free falling deep dive. Time's not your friend. Standing in my shoes. Now what would you do? You can see through me, but I can't see through you. 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 Ow. Pull on the ripcord before the disaster. Pull on the ripcord before the disaster. Pull on the ripcord before the disaster. Pull on the ripcord before the disaster.
It would have been funny if the guy would have tumbled and stuff after he landed.
Broke his leg in an
I'm
ambulance.
like, this is what you don't want. Wow. Sorry.
I was
One thing I want to say about that particular video, well, actually all three of those videos, our buddy Rick Moyer at Moyer Multimedia in Aberdeen did those videos. He did a great job. But what's cool about that one is he had got the people. We shot it at the Kapowsin
Shelby?
Skydiving.
Yeah.
In Shelton, Washington.
Yeah, skydiving academy. We shot it there, and he went up there to try to see if we could use that place to shoot it. And they went up in a plane and shot exclusive video footage of them leaping out of the plane. So that's not stock footage. That's somebody who shot it exclusively for that video.
Oh,
So
wow.
I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow,
awesome.
I didn't know that.
You know, I could never pay money to jump out of a perfectly
No way.
Oh no way.
No.
Jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. No, that's not. I can't even. Every time I see Brian jump off those cabinets, my knees hurt. I'm not.
You just took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say that the thing that just occurred to me was like I was impressed he could still get up there because it'd take me forever. I'd be like,
exactly. It's like, dude, I can't even. I can barely walk upstairs.
I hurt for like a month after that. Yeah.
Right. It looked natural though. I'm just saying.
I bet you he didn't do 6 takes of that.
No. 21. Yeah.
No, we usually it's a stack, not a half stack. So I was cool with it. Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Kurt, how's your back doing? I also have a back deal. So
yeah, I'm doing a lot better. I just had to stop standing on stage for an hour and a half holding a 7-pound guitar every night for a while. And after the Metal Church album, we toured, we did like basically a year and we played all over the world. And I went, that's enough. And then this started happening and I'm like, okay, I really got to take some time and do my my rehab and get my back going. So I'm doing much better. So yeah, doing great and ready to do some gigs, you know, with Hall of Flame. And I'm just putting my energies into this right now. So
yeah.
Kick ass. Yeah. No one, if you've never experienced back pain, they don't know unless they do.
Right.
You know.
Yeah,
it's bad.
And
I've had people call me up years later, go, dude, sorry for what?
You were right.
Now you know of what I speak. Yes.
Oh man, holy cow! But glad.
Dude,
glad,
I'm sorry.
Well, I've had the issue for quite a while, and you know, it's part of it's getting older, and you know, and just a lot of it too is like just simple things like just taking care of yourself makes a huge difference. And being on the road, I mean, unless you're some super band that can travel in a super nice bus and everything like that, and have hotels and a bus, you know, we were, you know, traveling in an RV. I'm not complaining at all. The shows were great, and we were getting around. It was fine, but you're not really taking care of yourself. So so it was just like, guys, I've done my bit for this record. Stop, you know. And then this Hall of Flame started happening, and I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do right now. So
right now. 19.
And we're glad.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Woo! Yeah.
1974, another really fun song.
Definitely.
All these songs are good. And what I was going to say earlier, this album is for like, I don't mean to sound corny, but for the whole family. Like your kids will dig it, your teenage kids will dig it, you know, mom and dad, grandma will dig it. You know what I mean? Just it's for everybody. There's something in there for everybody.
Well, and that's kind of what we wanted to do, because with as an unspoken thing, we just wanted some good, uplifting, positive, hard rock, you know. And who does that anymore?
Right.
Not too many people now, you know.
No.
I mean,
Yeah, and there's no swearing and there's no Satan.
Right.
yeah.
Right. I look for it on YouTube or wherever I listen to music the most, and I search for, you know, the last 10 or 15 years, new hard rock bands, and wow, it's tough, man. It's really tough to find.
Yeah,
If you know of any, let me know.
yeah. The ones
Wings of Steel.
I'm interested.
Wings of Steel, fantastic.
Who are they?
I've never heard of that.
Wings of Steel. It's Leo and Parker. They're buddies of ours. Fantastic. They just did some. We've done like 12 reaction videos on these guys. They're fantastic, good guys. They
Cool.
just,
I just wrote that down. I'll check it out.
yeah, they just did like a European festival kind of run their first time, and they're going to take over the world.
Awesome.
They are.
That's
Nice.
great.
Cool.
Think of Queensryche EP.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
I have that in my truck.
Yeah. And another one that's really good is Lost Psychonaut. They're fantastic.
I haven't heard them.
Yeah,
They're
like-
more. They're kind of like a Corrosion of Conformity kind of vibe. Kind of
Oh, yeah.
yeah, really cool. You know, so like fun, That's what we're noticing is like there's a lot of fun percolating up, and like okay, the next couple of years are going to be really cool because it's people
are bringing
the mood's changed.
Yeah, good, exactly. Yeah, that's great. Cool. Yeah.
My goodness. But okay, then you go on to This Ain't Love, killer bass opener, digging the tasty riffs. We needed great rock and roll served straight up, basically. And this is fantastic, man. Unbelievable. Cool. Yeah. Let's see. The solo, really cool. And the grooves in this is I really dug the groove in this for sure.
It's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. And like what's cool, like going through this whole album, I'll hear little like nods to your heroes and stuff, Ace Frehley, Eddie.
Yeah.
There's some Van Halen flavored in here. AC/DC, of course. There's definitely yeah.
Bad Company, definitely, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And then the same Gutter.
Great.
I don't know why that's not like, way up in the charts. You know what I mean? It's a great song, man.
Yeah, awesome.
Hey, the music business is so weird now. I mean, I don't know. Does anybody? I mean, I haven't listened to who listens to Top 40 radio anymore. You don't, because it's computer and it's some teenage girl dressing like a prostitute with and that's all there is, and it's like, so I don't know what's going on. Who has a hit record? Somebody doing what they call R&B now or something. So, I think us
rock mean anymore.
Yeah, I think us rock guys, I think it's a hit if people care. I mean, it's a hit for us because we're doing this right now. So
from what I've seen, I talked to my teenage daughter and I asked her, "What do you guys do?" She goes, "Well, we listen to there's some app that they listen to, and then they tell their friends about a certain song, but there's no." Like Kurt said, you don't turn on the radio and everybody's kind of hearing the same thing, and then we all pick the one we like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's going to go. It's kind of scary. It's really
weird
scary.
Right.
I had a thought the other day. I was listening to classic rock, a local classic rock station here that does a great job, and I thought, what is going to be is there going to be a classic rock station in 30 or 40 years from now?
Right.
No.
What would they play? And I'm trying to think of an artist that wasn't maybe a one-hit wonder, which nothing wrong with that. That's great. They had a hit, but I don't know. Rock and roll is still fairly young. Starting in the early 50s, so it's hard to say how it's going to develop from here. But I know this: when we play this, you hit on it a little earlier about the overplaying in some bands, and it's almost like you can have a drummer that is like, "Look at me," or you can have a bass player that's "Look at me," or you can have the guitar player that's every chance he's playing a riff. This band was always about the song.
That's right. Yeah.
Serving the song. Yeah.
And I think that's what classic rock that I listened to was about. Yeah. Because they didn't have the ability to edit and make it perfect and compress it so it's one level the whole way through and really loud. It was all over the place, different albums you put on. So I think, I'm not saying that we're going to be a classic rock band 40 years from now or 30 years from now, but I think that will happen. I think it'll come back around, and I'm hoping now that
I think it does, because everything is kind of cyclical. Everything swings back and forth. I think a lot of like the kids and the teenagers now, they're going, well, where's our swaggering lead singers, our Robert Plants? Where's our our great guitar players? Where's our stuff? We got some guy where there's lots of kids out there that can scratch a record, or program a computer. But at the end of the day, who cares?
Yeah.
It has no soul. There's no feeling. There's no art. There's no skill. Yeah. And I think the few bands that are out there now that are young, they don't have the songwriting skills or senses, ear, and I think. And there's a lot of kids that are going back and listening to our stuff, Zeppelins and the Sabbaths and the Bad Companies AC/DC and all that stuff.
Oh,
They're going back and drawing from that because they don't really have anything of their own other than the hip hop stuff.
But there is a lot of good new music out. There really is.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily rock, but there is some rock if you can find it, especially in rock and roll. There's a lot of stuff out, but there's a lot of other good genres that are out. I can appreciate a good song no matter what the production is.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Whatever the artist is, whatever style of music they're, whatever genre they are. But for rock and roll, there's some really cool stuff out. But you're right, Curtis. It's almost harder to find now because you don't have the major label going, okay, here's the new video on MTV.
Yep.
For rock and roll anywhere.
And here's the radio station that everybody in that area listens to. And they're going to play these songs. And so, and then it gets everybody kind of, this is like the 90s, the grunge thing was kind of the last time when there was a scene. Now the scene is so fragmented and there's a little this, a little that. And
that's it.
Over the place.
Yeah.
That's what I meant earlier. The scene.
Yeah.
The scenes have broken. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's, so, there's not like you go to Sunset Strip now and
right.
The Whiskey is this band. And then over at the True or wherever there's this kind of band, and everybody's walking around and it's like there's goth and then there's some guy with a man bun and a bad beard. You don't know what he's listening to, and it's just this stuff that I'm like, then your coffee house guys and it's just like so what's going on? A lot of nothing,
Think about back in the day, we used to play in Pioneer Square in Seattle quite a bit, and there were like 6 or 8 clubs you'd pay one cover for, and it was like $5, and you could go in any club. You get a stamp that was universal for the club, and you would see just every place you would walk into had a great band.
Yeah,
I just really, really did. That was even before like the grunge thing really took off when we first started playing there. Yeah. And then it just went crazy after Alice in Chains and Soundgarden, everything took off. It went. Metal Church was one of the early bands to get a major record deal in the Northwest. That wasn't a small thing. Major record labels were not looking at the Seattle area. You can go back to Hart and Hendrix and things like that. But and then Queensryche, had their EP and they signed. But Metal Church, that was a huge deal when Metal Church signed that. And I'm not saying that started the grunge scene, but I think it started major labels to start to look at the Northwest.
Big time.
You know what I mean? Go, wow, well, that was great. Sure. What else is out there? And I think it was a huge, foundation for the whole scene that was about to explode.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, everyone I knew, listened to Metal Church and Queensryche. Every single person. You know what I mean? More than Metallica or Anthrax at the time or any of that, but man. And you're also, Kurt, you were saying about level of fame. Like people don't understand, like people like Britney Spears. The machine kind of I think the machine made her go a little, where she needs assistance.
We lost you.
Oh,
there you are.
There you are.
Gotcha. But fame can be a bad thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Being that famous is super famous is like being in prison.
Can be. Yeah. I mean, I've tasted it a little bit in the 80s. Now, don't get me wrong. I tasted it. It was starting, and I was really uncomfortable with it. And that's when I kind of decided that my path was going to be a bit different, because it can be. And so guys like Metallica, I mean, they earned everything they got.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. People ask me all the time, well, do you ever feel bad that you guys, because it was you guys right with Metallica and, and all these guys and all this stuff. And I was like, do you ever feel bad that they blew up and you didn't? I'm like, well, I guess maybe from a business standpoint, maybe, but personally, I don't think I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But when it did start to happen a little bit, I found myself a little bit uncomfortable with it. And the biggest thing for me was I started losing control of my life. Suddenly, suddenly somebody was telling me what I was going to do. Okay, so yeah, you're going to have 2 weeks off for Christmas, and then in 2 weeks after that, you're going to be on the road. With who and for how long? It's open ended. We're just going to put you out there. And I'm like, no, no, you're not doing that. Tell me what's going on, and and the other guys, and unfortunately, the other guys didn't care. They were ready to go do that. I had already kind of been through that when I was in the Lude living in San Francisco. I had been through that part of my life. So it's that coupled with the whole thing of learning, being in the studio and going, wow, I really, really am attracted to this aspect of the business. But but all of a sudden it was like my life was getting kind of pulled out of control. It was not in my control anymore. It was booking agents, managers, record label execs, and things like that. And then when you realize what the word recoupment means, I mean, you're like, oh, I mean, to be perfectly honest, after I got back from the Master of Puppets tour, touring the world with Metallica, I was broke. I had to go get a job at Pay and Pack, which was before Home Depot, Home Improvement. Nothing, because all the money we were generating was going to pay back for the album and all the videos.
Right.
I didn't see any money, So those kinds of things take you out of it. Where, okay, if I keep doing this, I'm not going to like music anymore.
Right.
Music business, that's the one thing I like about the music business now.
Right.
It's personal, it's hands-on, direct artist to fans for the most part. It's not, you don't have that big machine going on anymore, which is great,
Yeah, we did a ton of music videos, and me and my crew guys would always be like, dude, how the fuck are they can't afford this? Excuse my French. I'm like, there's no way.
Right.
I mean, like, dude, this is $1.5 million. Like, what are they doing to these guys? You know what I mean? And you'd see the zombies walk, and no offense, they're hey, you got 24 hours off.
Your mic's cutting out.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry to hear me now.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, you'll get like muffled for a second, and then I don't know what's up with it, but
the connection.
Yeah, like, oh, you have 24 hours off. Hey, guess what? You're doing a music video. And, yeah.
Right. Who's doing it? What it's about? No, just do this. Or here, you're gonna. I remember. I'll never forget one time we had to do a photo session, and I think it was was it Cream or something like that? And they said, okay, tomorrow night you got a photo session for Cream magazine. Okay, and then they came, and then they drove us to the fucking strip club, and I'm like, wow. Like, hey, if these guys want to go after that, it's fine. But Metal Church isn't about that, So they put us in this stupid strip club and got pictures of some of the guys mud wrestling and stuff, and I was just like, and we couldn't do anything about it. But those are the things where you start losing control. And again, that's where I really like what's happening now with the music business. And Hall of Flame right now, what we're doing right now is the perfect example. We do it. And that's also mirrored by Rat Pack Records. You can call them up and talk to them right away. And it's great. And they take care of it, and they do it, and they know how to work the way the business is. So you aren't this little cog in this wheel,
You have control over your own creative endeavor.
Absolutely.
100%.
There you go.
As it should be.
Yep.
My question is, do we have to have a viral video in order for the so-called masses find out who you are, or anybody for that matter? Look at like the guy Jelly Roll, who there's a couple of guys like that who just did they sang and they had a camera. That was it. They sang really well, and then it just took off and exploded. It's insane. But that's all I hear about as far as anybody new really taking off like that. That's all I remember in the recent history that's happened.
I don't know how that works now.
It's weird, man.
Yeah, it's really weird.
There's a big hole there,
Yeah, and it's all about getting on playlists,
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
Yeah. And
so maybe we need to give them this.
Yeah, and what
exactly. Well, I think it's just a matter of, like we talked about, okay, if we're not going to gig right now, we'll be ready to gig, and we'll start working toward that to be a band. Let's just keep making videos and making records.
Yeah.
Build it up, put up content, and let everybody know. The more videos and everything out there we've got, we'll just do it,
Yeah, and I mean, it's like it'll there'll be like a little minute before the name gets out, but people will start, the ears will be perking up and they'll go, oh yeah, that kind of deal.
Well,
So,
I think like what you described, what you're doing, telling your friends, and social media can be great for that kind of stuff. Pretty soon it starts.
Yep.
It starts replicating.
What you're doing with your show here too is really great.
Oh.
I mean,
thank you.
We're totally grateful, man.
Yeah, it gives us an outlet to just talk about the band, talk to you guys, and it's just we really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Well, it's a way to, if we get to entertain you for a couple of minutes, that's us paying you back for, vice
all the
versa.
years of entertainment we've gotten from you. So
Right.
That's a way to look at it. Yeah.
But and we also understand that there's not the marketing machine for artists anymore.
Right.
Right.
And so, like, hey,
we
help spread the word.
Yeah.
Really are.
Truthfully, we're kind of in the same boat. We've been building this thing a little at a time, and it's been growing slow and slow. But we're getting, so it's the same kind of deal. We're trying to get our word out too. So it's sort of like a grassroots thing. Everybody's helping each other. So
and got the numbers today. We're up 45% in views just this month. So like
nice.
we're crazy.
There you go.
Yeah, we're and we're
And
really grateful.
I'll post a link to this stuff on all our our websites.
Oh yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, man. So double album possibly on the way.
Absolutely.
I think it's gonna have to be. We got so many songs that we got, and then at that point, the thing would be really cool. Then at that point, we can start writing brand new, fresh stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, just got that done, documented. I mean, I love those songs, and there's nothing wrong with them. But it would be kind of fun to start. Okay, now we're starting with a clean slate too, but doing the same thing but brand new songs. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, we already got a couple going too. So, but we just went through the cassette tape. We had the little cassette tape of the band room recordings. We went through. Oh, I forgot about this song. Oh, I forgot about this song. And I forgot about. These are great. These are even better than the last ones. So okay, let's do it. Let's just freaking do it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait, man.
Cool.
We've already started, actually, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're putting scratch vocals on them tomorrow.
Yeah. Going down tomorrow.
Yeah. Get to bed early, Scott.
Yeah. I don't sleep anymore.
I know. What is with that?
It'll be a long day in the studio tomorrow.
Right.
Oh God.
That's funny.
No.
Okay, so then there's Gunnin' Pulling Me Apart, Long Way Down, Keeping Them All Away. Cowboy is a bonus track. That was really good. Dirty, sexy riff on that one. Before hitting the sweet spot, vocals are just killing, man.
Thank you.
That is such a really no lazy vowels or trail offs is my note on there. Definitely a sound, And Dig the Groove again, another solid song. If you needed to hear another fantastic Kurt solo.
Yeah. That is
Paradise on Ice, another great. The whole album, man, from beginning to end, just fantastic. So we're looking forward to that double one, and then the next 7 after that.
Nice.
There you go.
We'll be there.
We'll do that until we can't.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I think this band, there's definitely the room for you guys to, Rolling Stones is retiring, maybe fill that spot there, AC/DC.
AC/DC slowing down a little bit. Yeah.
The audience is there waiting.
Yes.
But,
I'm ready.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just wanted to thank you guys very much for coming on. Thank you for the correspondence, of course. And we'll see everyone next time. Oh, don't forget. Go here.
Yes.
Yeah.
we really appreciate it tonight.
And get this.
Yeah, we're grateful.
Great album, man.
And all, and Hall of Flame on Facebook and all the typical socials and stuff.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Bravo on the album, man. You guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Big time.
Absolutely. All right. We'll see you next time on Creativity Talking.
Good night, you guys.
Later.
Good night, guys.